Hey guys, it's Tom Horn with Birmingham Appraisal Blog. I recently wrote a blog about escalation clauses since they're becoming pretty prevalent in my market and they may be doing the same in yours. One of the issues with escalation clauses is that they can drive the price up over what is market value, and that can present some issues whenever the appraisal is done and it may come back shorter or lower than the contract amount. So I wanted to give you some tips today for making a market-based offer using MLS data. Some information like this is available in local MLS um, websites. However, I thought I would show you how an appraiser might look at it, and using Google Sheets, which is just a free application that anybody can have access to. And so let's go ahead and get started. So what I did was look in a specific area in my market, and what you're going to want to do is you want to download the recent sales and listings within the area that you're working in. Now, I'm not going to go into how you export that information, but if you can maybe talk with somebody at the MLS, they will give you, the information on how to do that. So let's just say that you know how to export the data and you've exported it and you have what's called a CSV file. That CSV file can be imported into either Excel. I use Excel, but it can also be imported into Google Sheets, like I said, which is free. So um, what I did was exported that information, and I have it right here, and it's pulled up in Google Sheets. So I wanted to show you a little tips and tricks of what you can do to help analyze this data and to help you, like I said, make a market-based offer so that the it can help you write a contract on the property, and make sure, or hopefully make sure that it will reduce the chances of the appraisal coming up short because there's a big disparity between the contract amount and the appraisal. So let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, I have the information pulled up in here, and what I like to do is make it a little bit easier to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this top row, which has all of the header information. And what you can do, you just highlight it right there, you right click it, you come up here, and I'm going to fill that. Just make it a little bit easier to see right there. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze that top row so that when I go down like this, it doesn't disappear and I don't know what I'm looking at. So what you would do there, you would come over here and you'd go, let's see here, view, freeze, first row right there. So what it does, it freezes it so that it stays there whenever you are scrolling down. So one other thing I wanted to show you is the sort feature within the spreadsheet, and it's really helpful, and I'll show you why in a minute. But what you would do, you would just highlight that top row, data, and then you come down here and you create a filter. So click that. And so what that does, it provides you the ability to come in here, like if you wanted to, let's go over here. One of the things we search for a lot is the living area of a property. So what you could do, you could click this little filter right here, and you could filter by values right here, and you can type in, let's just say 1,000 to 2,000. Let's see if that works. I don't use this all the time, so I'm kind of doing um, trial and error right here. So let's just see if this works. Don't think that's going to work, but what we could do, let's see here. Let's select all, or clear it. So now we can start, let's do this, clear all. Let's just say our property is, let's just say it's 2,500 square feet. It looks like what it's done, it's sorted the information here, and it has the smallest number and the largest number. So the smallest being 2071, the largest being 3378. Let's just pick We're going to sort this, and let's just say the property that we're trying to get this information on is 2,500. So what I would do would be come down here and find the closest one to 2,500. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to pick this. Now we're going to try to choose something, a range that we can work with that'll give us the information. And this is something that when you're sorting your information and you're getting your data, you really want to try to be as specific as possible on your properties, because if you're trying to price a property that's 2,500 square feet, you don't really want data for properties that are 3,000 square feet, especially if you're looking at price per square foot, because as I always tell people, with everything else being equal, these homes that are smaller are going to sell for more per square foot, and the homes that are larger are going to sell for less per square foot. So we're going to do a range, but it's not going to be 1,000 square foot range. So let's go with the 2,505. Let's go from 2,300 to 2,700. So that's a 200 square foot difference. So I'm going to click these properties. Let's see here. This. Excuse me. That one. That one, that one. There may be an easier way to do this, and if I come up with it, I'll let y'all know. We're going to go down to 2,300, so that one, oops, so let's get that one, that one. Let's go up a little bit more. Okay, we're going to unclick that one because we're going from 23 to 27. So now we're going to come down here and we're going to go the other way. Click that, that. This one, this one, this one. Go up to 2,700. We're almost there. Hang with me a minute. Okay. All right, that's 2,687. Let's just go down and make sure we didn't miss any. We did there. Scroll a little bit more. Go down. I think we did it, so we're going to hit OK. What you're going to see is it didn't show it a whole bunch, but it sorted the properties based on the square footage. And if you look over here, this is the number of the listing or whatever. The number, there's like, I'm not sure how many properties it pulled here, but this is the count of them, I guess, the easiest thing to say. But if you look over here, you'll see that it skipped some, and those, what it's done, it's sorted the properties and only brought back the ones within our parameters. So, it's 1, 4, 5, 7. So you can see it did sort them right there. So far we have sorted them by square footage. Now we're going to sort them by, let's see here. We're going to sort by the subdivision. And let's see here, the subdivision I was working in, I'm going to clear all of those. Now I'm going to come down here, Polo Crossings, that's the subdivision I was working in. So you'll see here, there we go. See what happened right there? It pulled up only the properties in Polo Crossings. So it reduced it quite a bit. Now, if you're working in the subdivision and it only pulled up 1 or 2 properties, then you might want to look in other subdivisions as well. But for purposes of this video, we're just going to work in Polo Crossings. So what happened, the properties, it pulled up all the properties within Polo Crossings from 2,300 to 2,700 square feet. And you'll see that there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 properties that sold within the past year, and there's 2 properties currently actively listed for sale. So let's just work with that for purposes of this video, and I'll show you what we can do with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull some information out of here, and we're going to chart some information. So let's pull the sale date. Let's see right here. What you can do is you can highlight it and then copy that, and then you come down here at the bottom and you add a sheet. Right click or left click, excuse me, and then paste. That's that information, and then we're going to come back over here and we're going to go to the sale price. Let's see here. Oops, I'm going to get that. Excuse me, I'm looking at we want the price here. That's the original price. We want the actual sold price, and that's right here. So we're going to click on that. Come over here and paste it in there. So as you can see, these properties right here, I just copied and pasted some specific information that we're going to work with. As you can see, these two right down here are their actual listings right here. So what we want to do is they're not sold, they're still active, and that's going to help us out. So we're going, this is sold price. I'm going to change that. And this is list price for the active listings. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to take these and I'm going to cut those and paste those there. So it just moved it over there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this whole thing right here. And we're going to go up here and we're going to use Insert Chart. And it's going to throw a chart in there. It chose its own type of chart, but that's not the one I want. I want what is called a scatter chart. So you can go over here, see right here, this is a line chart. And I'm going to click that down arrow and then come down here. This is what I want right here. So now what you have is a scatter chart and the sold price and the list price. So these points right here are these numbers right here. And then these list price are the two red ones right here. Now the date on this, I believe that's probably the list date. These are the sold dates for the ones that have sold. These are the dates for the ones that have listed, but that's not really going to matter too much. So now what you have here is a scatter chart, and I like to work with charts because they help me visualize the information better than maybe just numbers in a chart. It helps to see where things lie and so forth like that. And on the left axis right here, this is the price, and on the bottom is the date. Like I said, the date either of the sale or of the list date. Now, what we're going to look at with this information are several different things, and we can use both the chart, this chart, and the table right here. The first thing we want to look at is just the range of prices in this area. Now, when I say the range in the area, that's specific to a property that's similar to ours. There may be other properties in there that have sold for a lot more, but we're really looking at the properties that are really comparable to what we're trying to price or, trying to come up with a contract amount for. So let's just say that, well, let's look at the information first. So you can actually hover above this and it's going to tell you what the number is. These two look to be the lowest. This one is 249.5. This one is 239.9. And then this one looks to be about the highest at 262. And that, that's similar to what we see over here in this table. Now, it's pretty easy to see in a chart with this amount of information, but if you had 30 or 40 or 50 sales in there, this is going to help you visualize it a lot more, and you won't have to keep going up and down, scrolling up and down to see this. So what you have here is you've got a range of prices of homes that have sold recently, and you also have a range of properties that are currently listed. These two listings, both of them are listed at 249.9. So you have, it's not really a range, but it's just a specific amount. The listings at 249.9. These actual solds they go from 239.9 to 262. Now, Also, what we would like to do, we just want to see maybe what the average price is. What you can do with that is you can come over here and working within Google Sheets, you can see what the average and the median of these properties are. And I'll show you how to do that now. So what you would do, you would click or you tap equal. And then if you've used this in the past, it will show some, the recent ones that were used. So I've used the average, so we're going to click average. And what it did, it took the information here because it's in this column, and we just hit enter. And what it did, I'll tell you what, let's do this. We don't want to include that. It may be taking that into consideration or it may not, but let's just make sure it's not. So we're going to do average. And you see how it highlighted this? Well, we're going to, let's see, equals average, but it goes to B9, but we're going to come over here and we're going to go to B7 because that's where the data ends. So now, whoops, I don't think that's right. Let's try that again. So equal average. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's average, and it goes to B7. Okay, there we go. I think it was doing a summation of all that information. So what we see, and we can put this over here, is that there's an average price in this area of 253. We can do median. And like I said, some of this information is available in your local MLS. If you do a search, it might give you this information. But I'm showing you in Google Sheets because it might help you in using this to be specific as to the properties that you want to do. Sometimes in the MLSs, the data it gives is for larger samples of information, and it may not be as specific as what you need in your property. So we're going to do a median. Again, we're going to hit equal M, M, and you see right there, it pulls that up. And it's asking me right here what range of information that I want. And what I can do is click on this, drag it down right there, and then hit enter. So if you click on that, it'll show you up in this bar right here what we just did. We want the median of the cells B2 to B7. So what we have, the median is a little bit higher. As I've explained in previous blog posts, average takes into consideration or is influenced more by the highs and the lows, whereas the median reflects more accurately the property, the value in the middle of the range of information. We're not going to do that with these two over here because, like I said, they're the same. You could do the same, get the same information if you had a larger sample of information. So what we have here is we're looking at an average of around 254 and a median of around 256. So that's pretty close right there. So all of this information is just going to help you in the end make a market-based offer using this data. So something else that we want to do is we want to look at what the trend of property values is doing. So the way to do that is you would click on one of the data points and you would click to chart style, and then you would go to series. So there's two series right here. You have the sold price and the list price, but we just want to see what the list price is, or excuse me, the sold price trend. So we're going to go down here where it says trend line. We're going to click a trend line. Now it gave the trend line for both of these, but really we're just looking at the sold price. So what we can do is we can click on this one right here, which is the listing, and then we can come down here and unclick the trend line. It'll take that one away. So what you see here is a trend line. This trend line is not very drastic. It may be a little bit different if you had more data over a longer period of time, but what it does tell us is that the property values are slowly going up, which is good because that's going to help us, help you make informed decisions as to maybe what kind of a contract price that you offer on the property. Because if the property values are going have an upward trend, then that helps you support a higher value. Whereas if the trend was going down, it would be just the opposite. So it's nice to know that the trend is going up. Again, we're looking at also sales as well as listings, and these listings, they are they're 249.9. They're well within the range, so that kind of gives you a good indication that they're not overpriced. Now, what you would want to do, you would want to look at the property you have. How does it fit in to the trend of properties that have sold in the recent past? What we can do is we can come over here and the original spreadsheet, and we can look at the square footage. So let's look, because square footage is one of the biggest factors in driving price. So if we come over here, and I think here we go, it's under living area. So the properties that I pulled up, like we were talking about before, we went from 23 to 27. Now, if your property, it should be within this range, because that's why you pulled this range. So, but if you also wanted to look at, let's take the filter off of this. Let's clear that filter and select all of them. Now, the range here is, let's see here, we can right click that and we can sort this. Let's see here. We're going to sort this information. Hold on a minute. Okay, so what we would do, we would come here, highlight this right here. We would go to data and sort it. We want to sort it. Let's see what this does. Okay, so that sorts it from low to high. So if our property was within this range, that's good, because it's going to tell you that it's not really overbuilt for the area. But let's just say it's 3,500 square feet. You can tell right here that it's going to be overbuilt, because the range is from 21 to 33. So what you might want to do is you might want to incorporate sales from another similar subdivision. Now, you don't want to go out into a subdivision that has properties that are so much more superior to yours and so much larger, but another similar subdivision that may also have more data on larger properties. But that's not the case right here, because our property, like I said, was within this range. So what we're looking at now, we can come back over here, and what we can see is that the highest sale is 262. You probably wouldn't want to offer more than that. If you did, it would be incrementally larger. You don't want to offer something 270, 275 or something like that, because most likely it's not going to appraise for that. You know, if your home was a little bit larger than some of these right here, not a lot larger, but a little bit larger, it might, reflect a little bit higher value. But for the most part, if it falls within the size range, you probably don't want to go any higher than 262. Now, you're also going to look at your listings. Now, if these listings are smaller than the property, than your property, then it's going to be logical that you might be higher than those. Probably will be. But if yours is about the same size as this, you probably would not want to offer a higher amount than that, because it's not going to appraise, because people are not going to pay more for something that they could get at the same price. So if yours is very identical to these properties, and you are considering making an offer of 260, something like that, that probably wouldn't be wise, unless it's larger than this. So that's going to give you the upper end right there if the home is very similar to that. And then again, like I said, the average price right here. So you probably wouldn't want to go more than 256 to 262, something like that, depending on what other offers were. So I hope that was kind of helpful for you, learning how to use Google Sheets to import data from MLS to help you visualize the information and help you make a market-based offer. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, And as always, thanks for reading and watching my videos. Have a great day.